Hello, this is a very uninteresting video shot, some audio following up on a video I made on March 26, 2026 about the fact that when Christ talks about gouging out an eye and making the blind see and making those who see become blind, he is making a point about, he's using the human anatomy to make a point about the feminine and masculine principles in Taoism, and that we are all designed, the image and likeness of God is male and female. We are all designed to be both creative and receptive at the anatomical level. We hear, that's a hole that noise goes through. We see, those our eye sockets are holes that light goes through. And we also piss, we shit. Other stuff comes out of us, various places. Stuff goes in and out of our nostrils and our mouth. Anyway, the idea is that we're both. And people, when you try to live one way, when you say, I am a male, and you just simply live as a male, try to be only creative and not receptive, it creates all kinds of problems. So I wanted to follow up on it to make a couple of other points that I felt were worth making. So if you think about, you could ask yourselves, like, okay, so we have men who, and this quote unquote ideal of a man who is just purely male, all male. I'm going to move a little bit so that the train noise dwindles. You can hear my melodious voice. So, I'm at South Station in Boston, by the way. The Queen of the South is rising in judgment to condemn this generation. The Queen of the South is in the lower part of the body. So, when you think about, people having sex, the sex is the strongest urge that humans have. And there's a reason for that. It's because it creates life. It's the most powerful thing. It's the thing that can occupy our attention the most, with the exception of labor, which is the consequences of sex. But anyway, it's that way for a reason, because it's important. And we can get it wrong if you think about, well, the first thing that happens during intercourse of a life-creating type is that the hot dog goes into the hoo-ha. That is masculine. That is Adam. He came first. Adam came first. I mean, look, the thing goes into the hoo-ha first. But, you think about it, well, it's actually creative and receptive at the same time, number one. Number two, so it's creative and receptive at the same time, number one, because the hoo-ha needs to be receptive to the hot dog. But if you think about it a little more, and that's important, by the way, for the hoo-ha to be very receptive to the hot dog before anything happens, obviously, for obvious reasons. But if you think about what has to happen in order for the serpent to become a tree, you see, the default state of this big masculine thing that guys obsess about is to be soft. I don't know, if they've noticed that, most of the time, it's soft. That's the default state of a penis. The default state of a penis is to be soft, like a sensitive man. It's a serpent, and it becomes a tree upon stimulation occurring. Now, stimulation generally, it can occur for a couple of different things. You can see something or you can hear something that stimulates you sexually as a person with a penis, and it gets hard. The serpent becomes a tree. Like in Exodus, when Moses turned serpents into rods, and even the Egyptian magicians can do it. That's the stiffening of a penis. But in order for that to happen, there needs to be receptiveness first. You need to see something or hear something, maybe smell something. Something has to go into your body. Light has to go through your eyes, or sound waves have to go into your ears. You have to be receptive first, and then it gets hard. So even that act, like the most masculine act, for the most masculine thing, the male penis, is receptivity first. And it is receptivity by default. It is soft most of the time. Men should be soft, emotionally receptive most of the time. Everyone should be. That's just the way the body works. Christ, among other things, was pointing people back to Taoism, or to Taoism. The wise men from the East that came at his birth, they came from the East. China's in the East, which is where Taoism came from. Taoism is about aligning with the natural way. That is not about aligning with, quote unquote, the way things are. That's a very, very different thing. It's about aligning with the way nature works. And we are in a state now, and we have been throughout history, where the way things are is not the way that nature works. It does not reflect the way that nature works. And Taoism is about being in harmony with the natural way. So when it says that, Christ takes these types of observations, serpent and tree, and then the mother's body, how the mother's body treats an embryo and a fetus and a baby. That's loving your neighbor as yourself. I've mentioned that a few times. But the general idea is you don't need books. You don't have to be particularly smart even. Just think about the way your body works. And then the other thing you'll find is that the patterns in your body are then reflected in nature. Like just one small example, the woman's menstrual cycle is very, very, very closely analogous to the lunar cycle of lunar phases. So, and that those types of patterns recur over and over and over again. The human anatomy, the human mind, cosmology, everything. But going back to the point I was making about the reason why we get so male focused and the husband rules over the wife, that's the curse in Genesis 3. The reason that we do that is it's a knowledge problem. Just as Adam and Eve got in trouble eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, we put an extra layer on top of the natural way things are. We see the way things are, that's the tree of life. And then we put extra stuff on there, like in the parable of the weeds. An enemy comes along and sows weeds that choke and strangle good seeds that were sown by the Son of Man. So we add stuff to the natural way, and we get into trouble. And then people make points like, oh, well, it's unnatural to be homosexual because there are verses in the Bible that I can point to that say you should be homosexual. Really? Well, the Bible isn't natural. One of the 10 Commandments is to not make false idols of God. And we have made the Bible a false idol. We treasure it as if it's God, him, or her, or itself, and it is not. It's a book. It's a tree. It's a dead tree, like a cross, made into paper. I mean, you can read it digitally, but you get the idea. And it's not God. It's not nature. It's humans. It's our interpretation of nature. And just say this in a similar way, our inner experience is a simulation generated by our mind. Of the outside world. It's similarly the Bible and any other scripture. I don't know if you're going to hear this with the lady talking. The lady's being very masculine. The lady, the robotic lady, is being very masculine in the background, talking over me. That's okay, she's a robot. She doesn't. That's what robots don't know any better. And ladies can be robots too. There's no ladies, men, tweeners, everybody. So the idea is don't be robotic, though. Align with the natural way. And I just felt like I wanted to say that right now. I've had an interesting morning already. Although, I don't know, interesting is maybe not the best word, because I've dealt with some fucking boron idiots who don't understand things that they should have known by kindergarten. Anyway, I love some of you very much.